Yo, yo, yo. Happy Friday, everyone. Everyone's always excited on a Friday. It's the last day of the week. Most people are pumped for the weekend. Referendum results have just come out. So I guess a lot of people were expecting that kind of result, but it was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. But we can talk about that when we're in the podcast. Excited to introduce to you all a good friend of mine. We went to school together back in the day, and he's sort of taken an awesome route with his music and also in his accounting career, and it's just cool to see his journey along the way. So welcome to the stage, Abid Rahman, or as he goes by these days, Abrzy. How
What's
are
up,
you, bro?
man? What's happening?
What's
I'm
going
good, bro.
on?
How are you? How are you?
It's been a
You
while.
know, it's been a while, man. Just work, Friday.
Yeah,
Just a grinder, just the rat race.
Mate, how's
Yeah, keeping
how's this
busy,
year been
keeping
for
busy.
you? Like everyone's had their own little journey through 2020. It's been pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
What's it been like on
yeah,
your end?
yeah. It's been pretty crazy, man. Like I think definitely the most unique year, like different year. But I
For
wouldn't,
sure.
yeah, like 100%. Like, and I think collectively, obviously, one of the worser years, like in terms of impact,
Mm,
to in a general sense, travel, sickness, But in
yeah.
terms of personal, like music, it's probably been one of my better years. Like
Oh,
just
congrats.
so a lot of things have like aligned, and I put out a body of work that I'm really proud of, and yeah, I think I made the best music of my career this year. So hopefully, it's a trend that continues, and next year I'm even more proud of the work that I put out. So yeah, so it's
Mate,
a mixed bag. It's a mixed
awesome.
bag.
So, just for everyone who may not know you or heard of you, just give the
Yeah,
quick five of what you're all about, how you came to be
yeah,
here, your journey, quick summary, and then we can get into the gnarly stuff of what your
yeah,
thoughts
yeah,
are and what's been happening.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I go by the name of Abrzy. So my name's Abid Rahman, and yeah, I'm a 27-year-old hip hop artist, originally born in Dhaka, Bangladesh. I moved to New Zealand when I was very young, so now I reside in Wellington, and yeah, I make rap music, and I love it to death. So yeah, I'm on Spotify, all the streaming platforms, etc. Yeah, that's me.
Mate, how long have you been in the music game for? Like, it's been quite
Uh,
a while now.
it has been a while, Has been a while. I'd say a decade, A decade, but it's been like not like not like a decade. I wake up every single day and I'm working on music. Do you know what I mean? A
Yeah,
decade of
yeah,
like on and off. And obviously in that decade, it's like getting your passing uni, getting your degree, getting a job, um, getting your place, getting your CA, like relationships, all that stuff,
yeah.
family, whatever, trips away, traveling, everything in between that decade. But over the last 3 years, I think I've gone um, very like as hard as I possibly can, um,
Mate. So,
especially this year. So,
what does that look like? Because we haven't caught up
uh,
in a while, so I need
yeah,
to get
yeah,
the lowdown as well.
yeah. It just means working on a lot of your craft. Having a lot of songs in the bank, ready to go, rather than just like work on one song and sit on it for a month, etc. While you're trying to fit around everything else. Um, it means just like reaching out to heaps of platforms and stuff. Taking the time to do that. Just making a solid plan for it. Like uh, sporadic, um, instead of uh, sporadic bursts of like creativity, or I'm gonna do this weekend, whatever. It's like consistent. It's like a schedule. It's like a routine. Like pump out a song, get that done, reach out to blogs, etc. Set all your socials up, etc. Um, be comfortable spending money towards what you're trying to do, in terms of not worrying about, am I going to get a return on investment on however many dollars I spend on this or whatever. It's just like you just keep going. So
For
yeah,
sure.
I think this has been one of those years. So if the first 9 years were like this year, I might be in a different place. But as I said, you're trying to fit around all those other things, going from 17 to 27. That happens in for a normal person.
Yeah.
If you didn't do anything your hobby or music, all those other normal things that happen, you're trying to fit around that as well. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
suppose with everything going on and all the lockdowns, did you
yeah.
find that you just had more time to devote to music, and you because you had to work remotely, or everyone did, more time at home? That
Yeah.
means more time to work on those projects. Is that what you found, or you made a mental shift at even before COVID broke down, where you decide to jump into
Oh, so,
more music stuff?
yeah. Sorry, my headphones just ran out of battery, but we're good. We're good.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like you just save so much time not commuting. That was a big thing. But
Yeah.
also, you're so drained after you come back from work and then commuting and stuff. You just have that extra time, and like an hour goes a long way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you can stay an hour extra before you have to go to sleep, because you don't have to, catch a bus or train or whatever, you got to beat the traffic. If you remove that, it actually makes a big difference, because that hour or 2 hours extra, hour and a half, that's like that's like 10 hours a week that you can get extra,
100%.
which is like 10 hours a week in terms of music is a lot. You can do a lot of that. Like, using those 10 hours, you can make a lot of songs. You can mix better. You can fine tune your songs better. You could spend that time reaching out to platforms that you just wouldn't have time for. So definitely getting that time back of lockdown really helped. So I'm trying to use like trying to still hold on to that experience and that opportunity, in terms of like, I am trying to work from home more, and readjust things. So
Sure. And you're also in the unique position where, like, you have your music life on one side, and you also have like the job side
yeah,
in your life. So
yeah,
you're working for Xero, one of New Zealand's top brands, and so that would give you a special insight into what's happening in the business landscape and
yeah,
how everything's rocking and rolling there.
yeah.
How did Xero adapt to everything that's going on? And I guess we'll go from there after that question. If there's a few more things in the works that we could talk on.
Yeah. Oh, you mean in terms of business, how it's adapting?
Yeah, how's so? Yeah, what's the landscape of New Zealand business? Because I guess it's got a pretty unique position where it's got a lot of clients and a lot of small businesses on its books.
Yeah.
And then what's happening internally, or what's the thought processes that are going on in the background?
Yeah, man, definitely. Like, I guess it's just from our point of view, it's like is trying to support small businesses as much as possible, in
Yeah,
terms of like all the resources that we can do to support them. And yeah, like, we need these businesses to stay afloat. So yeah, just doing as much as we can, and whether that be like, they can downgrade plans or whatever. But it has been, it's I think like a lot of these business grants has definitely helped, in terms
from the
of
government.
from the government and stuff. Yeah, and I think, like, to be honest, like, if you have a small business, your software subscription will be the last thing to go. Like, you have like sort of like bigger expenses that you would cut first if you wanted to stay afloat. So, and you do need your, I don't know, I guess, accounting software to
To operate.
operate. So that'll probably be one of the last things to go. But yeah, from Xero's perspective, it's just trying to support small businesses as much as they can, using, giving them resources, or just plugs, like information, like how to, manage your business better, etc. So
Because how many
yeah.
small businesses are actually on Xero's books or as clients?
From memory, I think it's all on the annual reports on the website. So I think
Yeah.
at 31st March, it was over 2 mil. So
Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's also further abroad than New Zealand as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So that's like New Zealand plus the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What are the main markets overseas that Xero is involved with? The main players.
UK,
Yeah.
North America, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
have presence in like South Africa, Singapore, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen quite a shift, I guess, as people have gone from offline to online, like there's been a shift in how people are using Xero, or more customers. People are trying to adapt and build up their online infrastructure a bit more.
Yeah, 100%. I think that with the pandemic, it's definitely driven a lot of people that would be like traditionally offline, like desktop software, to the cloud more, because you are working from remotely, right? So you're much more reliant on the internet and the cloud and stuff. So the pandemic's definitely driven that more. Worldwide.
It's a funky position everyone's found themselves in. It's they're and have you seen, or does Xero predict that we'll go back to our old ways rather than sticking to this new path we're on, or it'll take a little longer and there'll be this new normal, I suppose? We've had the first couple of cycles of this whole thing play out, and we know it's going to be around for a while, but are people going back to their old ways, especially in New Zealand, because we've got this freedom. We're no longer in level 4, 3, 2, 1. What's been happening in the background, do you think?
It's hard to say. I'm not too sure. I couldn't say certainly what the future plans are in terms of direction, but in terms of like just generally office, I'm in the office now, and there's definitely less people than there once were. Like before, you'd struggle to get a seat because we were growing so much, and there were so many people at work. And now there are still people at work, but they're just not physically in the office. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hard to say, but I think it will be. Like if you're getting just as much benefit, like, if there's no real cons to working from home, and you do have that flexibility, which Xero does allow, like they're cool in the sense of like, you can sort of discuss and figure out what days work best for you, or if you want to do 2 days a week, 3 days a week, etc. You want to switch it up every week. So, they're cool in that sense. So, hard to say if people will come back or they're happy with that. If there's no real con, I don't see people going back to ever of pre-pandemic of how life used to be or how the office used to be.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of businesses are doing that sort of thing. Like, do you want to come into office 3 days a week and work from home for 2? Whatever the situation may be, it's just opened up this conversation in such a way. And I think commercial spaces will change in a quite big way because they don't need as many people on the ground there, so it'll be interesting to see. It's cool to see what Xero is doing as well. Like they are supporting small business. I think I saw discounted subscriptions and whatnot come out the mix there. Is that right?
Yeah, or not discounted subscriptions. There are you can downgrade anytime, so if you're on an expensive plan. But the one cool thing they're doing is just offering the EAP sessions, which is cool.
Yeah.
So you get free sessions if you're a small business in New Zealand. So that's part of all this COVID resources, because if it is impacting your mental health, you can talk to people. You get these sessions to sort of take I guess help with your mental health, which would be
and that's huge for small business owners.
Yeah, 100%. Just to have that, and just to know that, a company which has no obligation,
Because even in normal times, business owners, they face this. There's always this balancing act happening in the background. Like if you're an employee, you've got income coming in all the time. It's pretty tried and true. It says in your contract you're going to get X amount of dollars, and it's going to land in your bank account. But with a business owner, even in normal times, that pressure is there to 100%. Always bring in income into the business, make sure that can meet its overheads and expenses and all the rest of it.
100%.
It's a totally different mentality.
You're gonna be very mentally resilient. So you throw a pandemic into the mix, that's just like, it's not it will never be less stress. You know what I mean? Like it's just added pressure. It'll never not be added pressure. So just to have those sessions, I think it's pretty cool that you can get those.
What's been the most surprising thing over the last 6 months that you've seen or heard out of what's been going on?
Surprising. I don't know. I think the fact that we're still in this, I think
Yeah.
it's yeah. I think it's this big surprise because no one thought it'd get this far, especially at the start, or especially even when you started hearing about it in the world. You're like, oh yeah, a pandemic. We've been here before. Should be all good.
Yeah.
And then as each month passes, or even the lockdown, when you're like, surely they'll just do it for 2 weeks, and then 8 weeks later we're still here, and now it's almost Christmas. Like I don't know, 6 weeks away from Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Or a bit longer than that. But like it's almost Christmas and we're still in this, and countries really haven't gotten better. Like New Zealand's obviously isolated; it's gotten better, but
we're so unique. Like, bro, I was checking out the numbers yesterday, right? Yeah. And like just Googling it, like COVID cases in America, in the UK, and Russia and India, like just bringing up the different graphs and seeing like how many cases they have. It's insane. Like how many like the sheer volume of people who are getting these things, and how like every country has their own story or journey through this. Like some have highs at certain points, some have lows. Like if you check out Australia, they had the initial big influx, and then it went down, and then they had to go into lockdown again because they had a massive spike again. But their lockdown seemed to work when you look at the numbers. America, like it seems to just be gradually going up, which is pretty gnarly, especially with the political landscape going on. So like you say,
I think no one
is massive.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone thought. Yeah, well, certainly not the average civilian. Maybe scientists, probably the doctors knew that it's going to be bad. They knew it's going to take however long it does. But I think the average civilian was just like, surely it'll be all good. But here we are
in the corner of the world. Probably the safest place to be in the world, and we get to just chill, go out about our daily lives. We can don't have to worry. Our borders are for the most part pretty good.
Huge blessing, brother.
Huge, massive. Did you have any gigs lined up before all this went down that you just had to like?
Nah, I didn't. Yeah, I was just locked in.
You were just working on music in the background.
Yeah, I didn't have anything set planned for the year, but I just made like this album over lockdown. So and a bunch of tracks that's sitting in my hard drive. But I didn't. I was keen for some. So hopefully we will.
Jump back on.
We'll jump back on. Yeah.
Man. How many albums have you got now?
This will be my third full project.
Far out. Good on you, bro.
Like
it's pretty epic.
Average. This one I'm really proud of. And then heaps of singles along the way. But it's a slow grind, eh? It's like it's a slow, but it's all good. I love it more than anything,
Mate.
So,
I haven't got a musical piece of my body. I tried all these instruments back in the day to give it a nudge, but when I tried drums, I found I had no rhythm. When I tried saxophone, I did it for 2 years, and I still sounded like you wouldn't want to hear me. There's all that. I gave things a go, but like I never really. I didn't have the commitment for it. I was always distracted with other things, but two, I found I didn't have that that little piece of I guess that talent, but it's take it through what the process is when you think of it like a piece of music, or you think of an album that you want to create. What goes through your head? How do you plan it out? What until you publish it, say on Spotify? What's the moves that you make?
Yeah, man, basically, like I definitely need to hear the beat first. Like some people, they write lyrics without the beat, and they have like pages of lyrics in a book, and then they'll apply it onto the beat. But I don't do that. So I definitely hear the beat first, and the beat just makes you feel a way. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's I will like maybe sing bit of melody on the track, or will it just be like bars, hard lyrics, just raps, raps on rap. So when I hear the beat, I just know what type of vibe it is, and from there I sort of just like put the beat on, I go into my little studio, and then I just sort of like freestyle and build like the structure of the song, just like the bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the chorus, this is the intro, verse, how long is this going to be? Am I going to double the chorus up, etc. And just it's sort of like this bass, and then with lyrics that don't really make sense, but you still get that general flow. And then from then I'll actually start writing, and I'll use that bass to I'll sort of refine it. It's sort of like pottery. I always use this example, but you have the initial bass that's spinning, and then as you work on it, you chip away at it, and you refine it, and you make it into like something that you think is dope enough for other people to listen as well. So once that's all done, you mix it, you make sure the levels are right, make sure your vocals are not louder than the beat, or the beat's not louder than your voice. If you need to chuck some delays, which is like echoes pretty much, or if you want to have say stuff in the background, it's all it just comes together. It's a lot of moving pieces, but you have to bring it together and make it into something tight. So
and do you find that like one piece of music like you can smash out and it's like out real fast, like within a few hours, and some take like months depending on like
100%.
how the inspiration comes to you? Like it's
100%.
Such a malleable thing, eh?
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it takes like 15 minutes, and then sometimes it'll take like 15 days. It's just hard to and all songs that you really like don't do well. Songs that you don't think will do well people really resonate with it. So it's just it's one of those things you just never know. But like I love all my songs, but I don't know. It's magic, really. Like there's you create something and people resonate with it that you don't even know why or how, but they just do. So but you just keep creating.
Have you found like over time, like everyone changes in their own ways, they all evolve, but like you'll find like your albums like represent different life pieces depending on what you're going through at the time, or you've got a pretty similar theme album to album?
I think my music's definitely changed over time. Like a bit more mature now, I guess.
What do you mean by that, more mature?
Just more grounded things, like more hard-hitting topics. Rather than previously, especially when I first started making music, it was just sort of just random thoughts or random lines that didn't really tie in cohesively. Bit of exaggeration, bit of braggadocious lyrics. But that is, that's a product of my environment, and also the age that you're at. You're young, so you're just you're very different. Your train of thought to what you are now. But also the music you listen to, a lot of you're so influenced by the rappers that you listen to, and all the things they rap about, you just sort of inject that into your own raps, even though it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of outrageous, but over time you just mature, and then previously you'd portray someone else's story, but over time it's just all you. It's authentic. But
Rainbow, you've got a few more songs in the works happening at the moment?
So I just got a few tracks that I'm working on, bro. So I just want to cap the year off nicely, with a few more bangers, and then trying to sort of gig. It's just been real tough in Welly. A few venues have closed down, so I was really close. Like September, I was really close to sorting a dope place in Welly. But unfortunately, I was gonna sign the contract that week, just like this is the venue, etc. We'll set it up, but unfortunately they're closing. So they're closing end of November. So they just weren't taking any more.
All those hospo sort of jobs and venues.
Hard
events,
like COVID.
So events, venues, entertainment, all that like sphere has been hit so hard that there's all these businesses that just can't keep afloat, and I think we're going to see a few more waves of that unfortunately roll out as we hit the new year. We've got the new government now. Now there's going to be a bit of stability, less focus on the elections, less promises. Like we're going to have to get practical around what the money situation looks like and start rebuilding. It's a definite piece of the puzzle. Just while we're on politics, the referendum just came out. What do you think of the results? You seen them?
Yeah, I saw the results. It's quite interesting, like the polls were very wrong. I think the polls for the cannabis were like 30% or something, yes. So they were very wrong. So it's very close. Like I think euthanasia, that's quite unanimous. It's very clear what the country, which way the country wants to go, and that is a binding referendum as well. So but I think the general consensus was that was going to pass, and that's been something in the works for a long time. Whereas the cannabis one, it's very close. So I still think it's like 100,000 difference in terms of
it's tiny.
It's very it's like 100,000. Where I think I can't remember how many special votes were waiting. Special votes were like maybe 400k. I could be wrong, 40k, but I don't think it's 40k. I think it was 400 and something, right?
It's so pretty interesting.
Those special votes could definitely sway the direction. Well, it depends, I guess, how many of the special votes were yes and how many were no. It could either strengthen the failure of it, or it could just get the yeses over the line. So it's pretty interesting, Like,
I think that the practical outcome was predictable, but they didn't expect it to be this close. Like you say, euthanasia. That the country's ready for that. But cannabis, I think there was a lot more grey area. And like you say, the polling previously showed there was a more stark difference than what actually happened on the day. But I think I think it's going to get benched for a while now that it hasn't gone through this time, because they'll say back in 2020 we gave it a shot. It hasn't gone through now, so we'll park that idea for now and work on other things. I
mean, there's only so many. There's so many ideas, and there's only so many resources that you can give to each, I guess, piece of work. So, but I don't know. I'll be interested to see how the special votes go, because I definitely think they can make a difference depending on, But
for sure.
That's where it goes. But if it is 50-50 split, if the special votes do represent the majority, if you extrapolate the results. And then then obviously that's still going to fail. But you're right. If it's not going to pass this time, they're not going to revisit it. It's like the flag yarn, which we'll never have to go through again in my lifetime. So
if the gap is that close, like you say, just 100,000 people, and there's 400,000 still to come in, it's still game on, right? Like who knows what it's going to be in a week's time, but time will tell. I know your time's super short. If you could give one message to the viewers, summarizing a few things, what would it be?
Well, I guess like me being a musician and a creative and doing something, I guess chasing your dreams or whatever, doing on the side. What I'd say is I've been reading this book by Russ. It's called "It's All in Your Head." So Russ is a artist that I listen to, independent, and he's really made it to someone that is very inspirational to anyone trying to make it in music. But one of the quotes that I just remember is called what he says is, "I looked up to the sky and I grew wings." So that's a quote. So it's pretty much just like keep doing your thing, keep dreaming, because eventually you will sprout these wings and you'll get to where you want to go. But that will only happen if you keep going, So regardless of, whatever life throws at you, and you're just like, it's not working out, I'm so sick of this, all these, losses and stuff. I just encourage anyone listening, if they're, in not just music, but any other field, to just keep going. Because if you keep dreaming, you'll eventually get there, or the universe will conspire to get you there. But you just have to keep going. So, that's my long short message.
Mean, bro. Love it. If people want to find you, where's the best place to go?
Just on my website, www.abrzy.com, abrzy.com.
Pull it up for you there.
Yeah, man. Give a little intro, give a little demo, or Instagram at Abrzy or Spotify Abrzy. So, but yeah, the website's pretty good. It's got a good summary of everything. Got a little store. You want to support the bro. But yeah, other than that, it's all good, All good.
Mean, bro. Awesome. Cheers for jumping on. You're a champ.
Thanks
What
for
I love
having me.
about
Awesome platform,
your
mate.
journey. I know you do your job by day and passion by night. It's pretty cool. Been going at it for 10 years. It's epic to see, and I've been following you even from the shadows, but it's been pretty cool to see how your music's evolved. So keep it up, bro, and we'll catch up soon.
Shot, bro. Appreciate it.
Awesome, bro. Peace out.
Thanks, bro. Peace.
Breezy, everyone. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Awesome. I went to school with him. He's always been following his passions, which is epic to see, because as you go throughout life, you'll see people who talk about doing things and they don't really put those thoughts into action, or they might put their passions to the side for the sake of following a career or looking after their family or whatever have you. But Breezy or Abid, he's always been super passionate about his music, so it's cool to see what he's done with it and where he's going, and he'll just keep chipping away at it. So pretty mega. That's all from me for today. Hope everyone has an epic weekend. I know I will. Awesome, guys. Have a good one. Peace.